My name is Trent Powell, and I practice immigration law here at Tingen Law.
Well, Trent, thanks for coming and talking.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, here in the office where we both work.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. So you do immigration law. How long have you been doing that here at the firm?
Oh, wow. I guess the beginning of 2015.
Yeah, so about 8 years.
Yeah. Wow,
That's awesome.
A lot longer when you actually spell it out.
I guess we're into our 9th year because
Yeah.
by the time we get to very cool. And you like being an immigration lawyer?
I do. I really do.
What's probably the most rewarding part about the work that you do?
Oh, being able to directly help people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
directly have an impact on their lives, which is pretty neat.
Yeah, absolutely.
So one of the things that we've been trying to develop here at Tingen Law is this idea of giving everybody a superior client experience. And so one of my questions for you is, what's a superior client experience? How do you do that? How do we do that?
Yeah, I would say that the biggest part of that is communication. Not just being quick to respond to, emails or phone calls, but also communicating at the outset of a case what expectations are, both from us and from the clients, and what expectations should be for the outcome of their case.
Right. I like that. And that goes to the heart of what is a superior experience, I think, is that communicating. Because what I've found in my practice, and I'm sure you've seen the same thing, is that clients don't really get upset about money. They get upset about not having a heads up about it. They don't get upset with results. They get upset if it's not what they expected, right? And so by having that open and honest communication, it's really helpful.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm meaning by that. Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. So you are, I think, the only attorney at the firm who is a Virginia native.
Okay, well, that's debatable. I was born in North Carolina, but I have lived here since the 5th grade. Yes.
Yeah, okay, all right. So not a Virginia native, excuse me. So nobody's a Virginia native.
I guess not. I mean, not, born and raised here, but I consider myself a Richmonder.
Yeah, I've considered you a Richmonder.
Yeah.
So 5th grade, huh?
Yep.
You like Virginia?
I do, yeah.
You're not admitted to any other bars?
Correct.
If you were to get admitted to another bar, which would it be?
Oh, I mean, Hawaii, so I can go live there, I guess. But no,
good.
I mean, I don't really, I haven't really given it much thought as to where else I'd like to be licensed.
Right.
I mean, especially because, with the immigration practice area, we don't need to be licensed in other states to practice in other states. So there's not really a
There's not a
motivator
huge
to
incentive
it.
to get licensed in multiple jurisdictions.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Cool. Well, so one of my other questions for you is, did you see yourself when you went to law school, did you see yourself doing immigration law? Is this kind of what you planned to do or wanted to do, or has this been a happy accident?
Happy accident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was your original kind of thought? Like, this is what I want to do.
Like going to law school?
Yeah.
Well, I wish I had some in-depth plan to lay out for you, but ultimately I wanted to get into a practice area where I could directly help people with their problems.
Yeah.
And so I've been fortunate to be in this practice area for the last 8 years because I'm able to do that.
Yeah, that's how I feel too. Like, immigration wasn't my first choice, but like the word choice you're using is, I feel fortunate. I feel grateful that this is how it turned out for me. So very cool. One of my questions for you was, the two of us are fluent Spanish speakers. There are 4 attorneys at the firm currently, and I think James and Travis both are making decent headway. How did you learn Spanish?
Oh, I just took a bunch of classes in middle school and high school and college. So I consider that as helping me develop a base, like how to properly pronounce words, grammar structure, vocabulary. But but I wouldn't say I became all that great at speaking it until I started working here full time, and I was basically forced to.
Right.
to be able to communicate with the clients, and so that's how I would say I learned how to speak it.
You did a semester abroad too, right?
I did, yes.
Oh, okay. But here is where it really kind of gelled for you.
Yes, definitely. And the last Spanish class I had taken before I started working here was 6 years before I started working here. So, it's not like it was super fresh in my mind. Maybe I did speak it better in college than I remember I did, but
you're pretty good today.
yeah. So I don't know. Maybe I'm not giving myself enough credit for speaking it better in college, but I don't know. I feel like I definitely became more comfortable just working here and speaking it daily.
Yeah, I think it's one of the draws for clients to come here is to be able to talk to an attorney that understands them and that can speak to them. So I know that for me, Spanish has been a huge part of my life. Mm-hmm. And so I'm just, again, grateful that it, this circumstance found me. So I wanted to ask you, have there been any changes to law or any specific case results that you're like particularly proud of? Like anything that just kind of stands out in your mind, your career here over the last 8 years?
I would say winning appeals at the BIA. They don't have a high rate of, coming down on our side. So
right.
Any victories that we get there, I view as really special.
I was about to say that. I was recently bragging about your results to Travis because the last time I looked at statistics at the BIA, they'll only turn over cases about somewhere between 2 and 3% of the time.
Yeah, I believe it.
But I think that your, turnover rate, like the remands that you get and the decisions you're getting in your favor is significantly higher than that. Would you agree?
Yeah, significantly higher, sure, but that's a relative term, right? It's
right.
Not like I'm getting back 50% overturns, but I feel like we do all right here.
Yeah, we do good work. And I mean, everybody's always excited to see remands on the BIA stuff. I'm excited to take more cases in front of the Fourth Circuit when that opportunity comes. So, are there any other cases that stand out in your mind? Like, what's your favorite kind of immigration case that you do here?
Asylum.
But
yeah.
Are there any asylum cases that stand out in your mind? Or just circumstances that people should be aware about that we do and deal with?
It's always nice helping single mothers. They're a vulnerable part of the population worldwide, and being able to help families like that it's always enjoyable.
Right.
And they're often present unique asylum cases when it's a single mother and their children coming from the countries that we typically represent from.
Right. Strategically, it can be difficult to win some of those.
Yeah.
But it always feels good to win those.
Correct.
We're seeing more and more, as you know, from Venezuela. What? Just name some of the countries that you just never thought you'd meet people from that we've helped here.
Oh, wow. Mauritania. That's one.
That's when you've done that?
Yeah.
I haven't done Mauritania. When did we have that? That a couple months ago, or?
That's a new asylum client.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, I mean,
I never expected to see so many people from Afghanistan, but that's a whole other
yeah, that's
hole in the ball of wax.
That's true. Yeah. There was a certain time period there where we got a lot of clients from Afghanistan, right?
Yeah, I've seen a handful from Ukraine, but not tons. I don't know if you have.
I don't think I have.
Not
actually.
For asylum, but just consults generally, just here and there.
Yeah, I don't actually
you
don't
didn't
know.
Consult on Ukrainians. No. Yeah, so I mean, we do a whole range of services for immigration services, but also we do deportation defense or removal defense. Can you speak to what it's like to represent people in immigration court, what the court system is like, that kind of thing?
An honest assessment?
The
backlog that they report on in the news is very real.
Yeah. Is it still above 2 million, or are they paring down on that?
Oh, I would imagine that it still is,
Yeah.
just because as quickly as they clear things off nowadays,
Right.
I'm assuming that it's being
Well, I
replaced
mean, because
just as
they increased
quickly.
the number of judges like 700% or something.
Yeah, that's been a very unique challenge for us the last couple of years.
Yeah, because the rate at which our cases come up has increased significantly.
Yeah, but I mean, I've talked with you about this before. I think both of us are in favor of speedy due process
Oh
for our
yeah.
clients
Yeah,
ultimately.
yeah.
So it's a good thing ultimately, but it's still a challenge for us and definitely our staff as well. So
Well, and for a client, the ones I feel bad for, are the ones who've been waiting around for 8 years, have no hearing on no hearing scheduled at all, and then are told, oh, you have your last hearing in 6 weeks.
right,
It feels almost like a gotcha moment, which I don't
yeah,
particularly care for.
I see what you mean. They did a
Right.
lot of waiting around and then only to like
Yeah, hurry up and wait,
right.
and then hurry up to finish. Um, so, but I think that we're tackling that here at our firm in a good way. We're kind of front loading a lot of work for our new cases, which is, I think, leading to some good results for us.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's easier to prepare for a short notice hearing if we do a lot of the work up front.
Yeah, yeah. Um, what is a legal issue that really bugs you and that you think should be maybe a different? You're like, man, they should really change that law, or they should really change that process.
Uh, Special immigrant juvenile status. I mean, that's the obvious one.
Tell me.
Um, well, essentially, it used to be a process that worked a lot faster. Then they recategorized the visa that is received in that process, which led to a big waiting list, basically, because they limited the number that they could hand out every year,
Right.
or that would be able to apply for residency every
And so
year.
your thought is, why not categorize them the old way and get rid of the backlog?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Like, just because by definition these are kids that have been
Abandoned,
abandoned, or
neglect.
right at
Yeah.
some point by one or both parents, and so it's wild knowing that like I began working on their cases when they were like 15, and now they're like in their 20s and
Yeah.
wanting to start their lives, but
But are held back
can't-
by this retrograde or whatever they call it.
yeah, and it's been helped by deferred action, and so these kids are able to get their work permits while waiting for their ability to apply for a green card.
Right.
But it's been frustrating because it's ebbed and flowed so much that like at the beginning of the case we were communication, right? Like I talked
Yeah.
about earlier, we communicated that their case could be expected to be wrapped up within X period of time, and having
And now
to
that's
like
being expanded.
right,
Yeah.
and having to like keep having to inform them that it keeps getting pushed back and back is very frustrating.
Well, yeah, I mean, and then that's something that I want our clients to know, is that that's frustrating for us too. Like, there's so much about immigration law that it just isn't within your lawyer's control.
Correct.
And so that's a message that I would get out to every client, is that what we try to do is we try to communicate those changes to our clients so that they can be ready to respond to them. But when it comes to retrograde, for sure, it's a bit of a mess.
It's safe to say that we don't want cases to last long either.
Yeah, no,
There's
we
no
like to
incentive
get the
for
work
us
done.
to-
Yeah,
for it to keep going on.
right.
So,
Yeah, especially since we do flat fee work. It's not like we're genning up hours. We're trying to help people.
right.
Can you tell me about an aspect of the law or legal practice that gets you personally, like you're just like, man, this is fun, or I really like this, I get excited about it?
I like writing more than I thought I would.
Yeah.
Writing briefs. Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of those things, like when you write in school, it can feel stressful.
Right. And more mechanical, and
Right.
I don't know the right way to describe it, but
But when you write for a client, it's going to make a difference. It matters.
right. Knowing that it will actually be assessed by someone who's making a real decision on a case and not for a grade, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that is fun. I have found that that can actually be one of those enjoyable things.
Yeah, I didn't think I would like writing as much as I find that I do now.
Would you say that there's been any changes to law that you have caused through your efforts, through your practice, or anything like that?
I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
I know that as a firm, we've contributed to some stuff. We've worked on ICE detainer cases.
Sure, yeah.
And then I think that we've probably helped develop, at least in Central Virginia, how SIJS cases are viewed, like
Yeah.
together as a firm. But I've been trying to put my...
That's fair. I mean, I currently don't do the family court portion.
Right.
But I did for a while there.
Yeah.
And getting judges familiar with what it is that was needing to be accomplished, I would say that we played a role in that.
Definitely as a firm we have, yeah. What's something that you would want a client to know about you and about about working with you? Like, why should they come to you as opposed to some other immigration lawyer?
I really do care about the outcome of cases for our clients.
Yeah.
So, I try to not let that completely overwhelm me, emotionally, but that I feel awful when things don't go the way for our clients that I was hoping they would.
Right. And then kind of the same or similar question, but for the firm as a whole, like why should somebody come to Tingen Law as opposed to some other law firm?
I think we have a system in place and a great staff that leads to efficient and high quality work being done.
Yeah, I agree. And we've been working on systematizing much of what we do so that it is easier for us and our staff, which has been a boon to everybody here. Probably the biggest difference in coming to our firm. So,
and I think that's important because we are dealing in immigration law with standardized forms. So while each case is unique, of course, ultimately it's a lot of the same information, a lot of the same requirements are needed for each and every case. So having a system set up in place to make that efficient, I think helps our clients out big time.
Right. Right. And while I won't go into it on this video, but you've heard me talk about these books. I've been reading the Checklist Manifesto and
you don't want to get into that now?
No, not right now.
Oh, okay.
No, I'll do that in a different video. But, it's so important to have a checklist. Like there's a lot of evidence to indicate that the more complex a task becomes, the more important it is to actually systematize as much as possible so that you can lead to better, consistent results generally. So that's something that we've taken to heart and we do here. I wanted to ask you, what do you do in your spare time?
I have 3 kids, so I spend a lot of time with them, helping out around the house, being a good father and husband, doing the best I can to be those things. But honestly, my hobbies haven't changed much since I was a teenager. I like to watch sports and play video games.
That's fair.
So,
that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I like that.
I used to read more, but now I read all the time for my job, so I just don't have the desire to do it anymore.
That's true. Oh, I mean,
off work.
and what we read, country conditions, I guess we could have gone into that a little. What's the craziest thing you've learned about the world as you kind of put together kind of reading and writing for clients' cases?
Oh, I mean, just that, if someone is coming to us, and I mean, this country, there's probably something going on in their country that's way worse than we could possibly imagine happening in ours.
Yeah.
And so each country is unique in that way, but every country where we are working on asylum cases for, there's some pretty crazy stuff happening there.
People are going through a lot. Yeah.
Right.
We're not going to bash any country or anything, but our clients come to us for genuine reasons. I mean, there are some significant issues that our clients face.
Correct. Yeah.
A lot of them, I think, have gone through so much. So, what do you do with your family here in Richmond? What do you like most about Richmond?
We actually do take advantage of like being able to go to the mountains, go to the beach, go to DC.
Yeah.
The kids all like to go up to the museums up in DC, which is fun.
Richmond is well positioned for that. Like you've got beach, mountains, like you said, and city a little ways away.
Right. Yeah.
Far enough away to keep it, at arm's length.
Right.
So,
yeah.
it's pretty cool. Well, thanks for sitting with me. I appreciate it.
Of course.
And I hope people here can get to know you a little better and before they come and hire us here at the firm.
All right. Well, I hope so too. If you like this video, please hit like and subscribe.